Another weekend of PFL action. We saw a stunner hit the woodwork, a top-class goalkeeper save, and an epic top-of-the-table battle between Manila Digger and One Taguig. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and let's get to it.
The PFL, it's the PFL, the cow, the cow.
Mabuhay PFL fans, and welcome to the PFL recap with me, Andy K. We had a full lineup last weekend, all teams were back in action. We had a great top duel with One Taguig versus Manila Digger. But first, let me ask you a question. We have had a very good season so far, but which season of the PFL do you think has been the best one? Let me know in the comments. First, we take a look at the matches from the Saturday. At Binan Football Stadium, we saw Davao versus Loyola in the first match of the weekend. I expected a very tight match, but had Loyola as a slight favorite. Loyola started strong and nearly take the lead, but Watrain Davao's goal pulled off a fantastic save. Davao had some chances towards the end of the half, but it just wasn't their day. The second half was fairly even with no major chances until the 77th minute when Koki Narita scored his first goal for Loyola. And Loyola held on for the 1-0 win, moving above Davao into 6th place. Then we get on a plane and move on to Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sport Complex in Cebu, where we saw Cebu play against Mendiola. And was this going to be another heavy defeat for bottom place Mendiola? The first half was very disappointing. Cebu had some half chances but struggled with the finishing. Ironically, the best opportunity came from Mendiola with a corner that nearly curled straight into goal. The second half started much of the same until finally, after an hour of play, Cebu broke through. Brazilian centre-back Gabriel Silva headed in the opener. Shortly after, Daniel Gadia made it 2-0 for Cebu. Mendiola got one back in the 17th minute through Milad Begandom, capitalizing on a sloppy defending by Cebu. But then, in the 19th minute, Cebu sealed it with a penalty. Rintaro Hame made no mistake in the final score, 3-1 to Cebu. Not a dominant win, but 3 important points as Cebu fights for a top 4 finish. One thing I must say though, I love the atmosphere here in Cebu's home games, but the camera angles for the broadcast, they are quite awful. And then we move back to Binan Stadium in Laguna. Stallion took on Maharlika, and Stallion was of course big favorites here, and they nearly scored very early. A great combination play, but Balabo made an incredible double save. But then Maharlika had one of the most spectacular shots I have seen this season, an absolute stunner of a bicycle kick that smashed the woodwork. If that gone in, I think it would have been a contender for the Puskas award. Stallion kept pushing, but Maharlika's defense and Balabo held strong, and it was 0-0 at half-time. Stallion's Stephen Holm had a golden opportunity to score, but somehow put the ball over the goal. Maharlika had their chances too and stood tall against the Stallions. They even had a late opportunity to steal it, but in the end it finished 0-0 and a solid result for Maharlika. So far the new takeover of Maharlika seems to have paid off. And then on Sunday, again at Binan Football Stadium, we saw Kaya versus the youth national team. And again, could the youth team here avoid another heavy loss? Kaya debuted their new goalkeeper, the American Alfredo Cortez. Played for Stallion last season. This is their 4th goalkeeper they used so far this season. The youth team had a great opportunity in the 30th minute, but Libanes couldn't control the ball well enough to finish. Then in the 23rd minute, Kaya struck first. Lucas Del Rosario with a tap-in from Ponchalo Bugas assists. 1-0 at halftime. Early in the second half, Kaya had some more big chances, and in the 53rd minute, they doubled their lead. Ori Menzi headed in a Bugas corner. 3-0 came after a free kick rebound, with Fitch Arboleda reacting quickest to slot it home. Youth team managed though to pull one back in the 77th minute, a beautiful header from Josef Garces. But that was it for them. In stoppage time, Arboleda scored his second, assisted again by Bugas, and the full time it was 4-1 to the reigning champions, who remains top of the league. And then we go to the main event, One Taguig versus Manila Digger. The two challengers faced off in an epic battle. Digger got the first big chance, a cross nearly sneaked in, but Camarad in One Taguig's goal got a fingertip to it. Ball fell to Eric Giganto, but it hit the post. Junior Sam unleashed a rocket just before halftime, and that disturbed the goal, but a song made a spectacular save. It was 0-0 at break, but this match has been very electric. In the second half, Digger started strong strong again, but Kamrad was up to a challenge. Then some controversy. One Taguig should have been down to 10 men when Ceaz broke free, but the ref only gave a yellow card. And following free kick, Ceaz nearly scored, but Kamrad showed his national team quality with another big save. Digger kept up the pressure but couldn't find the net until stoppage time. A corner kick found Jordan Jarvis, who headed it home. Digger wins at the death. An incredible match. Both teams showed great skill and heart. It was physical, intense, and for me, the best game of the season so far. Now let's take a look at the league table. Kaya stays on top after their win, and Digger is right behind them and has created a small gap, now down to Cebu in third. One Taguig drops down to fourth and Stallion down to fifth, but with a decent shot at the top 4 finish. Loyola is closing in though, looking to challenge for one of the final spots, while Davao is slipping out of the race. Maharlika is showing some promise though in 8th. They are pushing to overtake Davao, and the youth national team sits down in 9th with Mandiola still remain winless at the bottom. And for the upcoming matches, we see here that Cebu had already played in the youth national team here on Wednesday, but I will cover that in the next recap. On Sunday we have Stallion versus One Taguig, and it's a must win for both teams in the fight for the top 4 finish. Also on Sunday we see Kaya Iloilo face off with Davao. I don't see much hope for Davao here, but an upset would make things very interesting. The game to watch though for me is the Monday's game, Maharlika versus Loyola. The 2 underdog teams are in good form, and this should be a fantastic battle. Finally, on Monday we have Mandiola versus Manila Digger, and this should be an easy win for Digger. Then we have some concerning news. Cebu goalkeeper Yusuf Sekic, he claims that he wasn't allowed back after the Christmas break, despite still being under contract until May. And even worse, he said he hasn't been paid since December 15th. This is very troubling because me and probably a couple of you as well probably thought that Cebu was one of the better run clubs in the Philippines. So if this is true, it's very worrying. We heard similar things from Loyola also around the Christmas break time there from the player Nino Deleuve, but there are also some rumors about Nino. I don't want to get into it too much because it's just hearsay for me now, so I don't know what is true or what is not. It's weird that we haven't heard anything from either Loyola or Cebu about this when a player come out and claim that they haven't been paid and just let go without any notice. It smells fishy to me, and there needs to be a statement coming from the clubs or the PFF how they will handle this, because if players coming to Philippines to play promise contract and the club doesn't keep it, that is not good for Filipino football. The PFF needs to act, and needs to act fast, and we need to get all the facts of what has actually happened. That is it for this weekend's PFL recap. Thank you all for watching, and remember to like, share and subscribe. See you next time. Paalam.
That